A look at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, where last week the Cowboys sent us into the holiday season with a win. Just in time, that express delivery of a dub lifts the spirits for Thanksgiving back at home. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Giants as we welcome you in to Cowboys Pregame Live. He's Barry Church, former Cowboys safety. He's Isaiah Stanback, the Emmy Award-winning and Super Bowl champion here on the set. And then we've got Nate Newton, who's wearing the Thanksgiving special jacket right here, who's got 3 of them rings.
Yeah.
3?
But I'm not award-winning.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's over there. It's over there.
Pull it out, boy.
There's all if you want it. Here you go. He's a big part of that as well. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. Cowboys Pregame Live. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, sir.
One of the best holidays because you got the family, you've got the food, and don't worry, we've got you covered on the football as well. We've got plenty of Cowboys-Giants talk coming up, but let's talk about Thanksgiving as well. What was it like playing on this special holiday?
I'm not going to lie to you, Kyle. I did not like it. I didn't
Wow.
like it, man, because usually, Thursday games, they happen really fast.
Yeah,
It's
they
a
do.
quick turnover like that. Your body's not ready. But I will say this, the food after a victory tasted so much better.
You know what? I didn't mind it. I liked having the fam there. You know what I'm saying? The
That's big
family
time.
was there. I made sure that the family was taken care of. I like to have a whip come pick them up, take them to the game.
Ooh,
They're wearing your
fancy.
jersey in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? As a kick returner, I was trying to run that thing back and make sure I could toss the ball to them, but I got tackled like 10 yards away.
Did you get caught from behind? Or
You know what had happened was.
Okay.
Let me tell you what happened was.
For me, it was 20 to maybe 30, 50 people come in town, all my family. Yeah, man. But then when we got to rocking and winning, hey, I had that turkey with John Madden, so I was
that's
always
big time.
giving out that turkey, man. Then I would take the extras to the crib.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Nate
great.
was one of John Madden's favorites. I feel like
Yeah.
every holiday season we think
Yes.
about John Madden, the coach, baby. He loved Nate Newton, and we love John Madden as well. Rest in peace, as always. Now, this is a Cowboys-Giants rivalry that's always a lot of fun as well. You've got that 76-46 Cowboys advantage, but it's been recent dominance from Dallas, who's won 7 in a row against the New York Giants, and they've won 14 of the last 15 meetings. I mean, this is a struggling Giants team, but there's a lot of pride playing on this holiday.
Yeah, without a doubt. There's a lot of pride on both sides of the football when you talk about the Giants. They're going into this matchup knowing that they've lost, 7 straight against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are going into this matchup just coming off of a great victory against the Washington Commanders. So it's cool for them to have confidence going into this game. You just saw the graphic right there. They've won against the Giants the past 3 to 4 years. Right. But the Cowboys have got to understand that they're not good enough to just go in there and sleepwalk on any opponent, all right, no matter what it is. I know the Giants are down to their 3rd or 4th string quarterback. I don't care about any of that. This is a division opponent. You got to take them serious, and you got to understand that you got to get business done, but it's cool to go in there with confidence against the New York Giants.
Will Bear is their 2nd string quarterback that's getting played as if he's a 3rd string quarterback. But, we're not, that's neither here or there.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. Listen up, these guys are playing for themselves. You're in a certain position at a point in time when you're having a bad season as a team, you start playing for yourself, and hopefully the team can be the beneficiary of it. So you have to go out there and put good tape on the field. It's your resume at all times. This coaching staff, obviously, I'm talking about the New York Giants, that is, they don't have anything to lose, right? They know that their back's against the wall. Their backs were against the wall last year, so they're going to come out here and do absolutely anything that they can. They are reinvigorated with a new quarterback, obviously. The young receivers out there dropping all kinds of hints. These guys are going to be flying off the walls and doing absolutely anything. So whenever you're facing a team like that, an opponent like that, you have to be ready for all things because they just don't care.
It's Thanksgiving. Everybody's watching. Both teams have poor records at this time. But you know what? They still going to get it up. It's only 3 games today, and they're one of those 3 games. For these guys, New York and the Dallas Cowboys will go out and play hard. But Cowboys, relax. You've got that monkey off your back. New York trying to get it off theirs. Just relax. Play, what is it?
Complimentary football.
Thank you. There it is. Complimentary football. You'll be okay.
I like it. Now, the Giants haven't won at AT&T Stadium since 2016. But here's the thing. The Cowboys haven't won at AT&T Stadium since 2023. They've lost 6 straight, 5 this year. They're 4-2 on the road. It looks fine on the road when you look at points per game, points allowed, rushing yards. It's a more balanced attack. Not so much at home. Nate Newton, they became the first team in NFL history to trail by 20 points or more in 5 straight home games. How do they get back on track at home, and is it a mental thing to this point?
You did it against Pittsburgh away. You need to come home and give Rico Dotto the ball. You need to play that complementary football, which y'all helped me with earlier. That is what they need to play at the utmost. No mistakes, penalty-free ball. They need to just concentrate on themselves and what they're trying to do, play to play, down to down, series to series, and they should be okay.
Yeah, I love what you said there about getting Rico the ball because it makes that offense more balanced. There's not a lot on Rush's shoulders when he's able to just turn around and hand the football off to Rico, and they can get things going. But when you talk about what they're doing at the home at AT&T Stadium right now, to me, they got to start fast. I mean, when we looked at it, they kind of start sluggish here and there. Penalties may draw the offensive back off, or the defense may give up an early score, and the next thing you know, you're in the tank right there, and you got to battle your way back. The key to making sure you can get that audience and then fan base alive and well in AT&T Stadium is to start out fast, whether it's offensively or defensively, and that'll set the tone for the rest of the game so you don't have to crawl your way back into these games, but you got to start fast, and it starts this afternoon.
Perspective is everything, and the reality is you've played some really tough opponents at the crib this year. This is not those opponents. So you've had the luxury of going out there and playing against some of the best teams in the league. Your schedule just dictated that. It is what it is. You didn't take care of business against them, but you have played against a higher level than what you're going to be facing today. So go out there and treat them as such. That doesn't mean that you take breaks. It doesn't mean that you relax. That means that you go ahead and build on the momentum that you started last week, and you go out there and try to get another W play by play.
And that's been really the message from the front office and the coaching staff. Jerry Jones said it this week on 105.3 The Fan that they have played the Ravens, the Lions, all these teams at home. The Eagles have already come to town once. This is an opportunity to get the 5-game losing streak off your back last week and now a 5-game home losing streak off your back this week, and do so in the course of 4 days. Here's what the NFC East standings look like right now. Of course, Philadelphia is up at the top. You gained a game last week against the Washington Commanders. There is a shot, if you run the table, if you continue winning, that you finish 10-7. Normally, in the new structure of the NFL playoffs and the NFC picture, 10 wins would most likely get you in. 9-8, not so much. That puts importance on every single game from here on out. Mike McCarthy spoke to this earlier in the week, encouraging his team to stay the course, keep their mindset in the right place, and see what can happen down the stretch.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job staying the course as far as preparing. But yeah, I mean, if you need a definition of urgency, we've had it around here, the last month, and I'm frankly just thankful and just really happy for the players, that they had the success that they've worked so hard to achieve. So, but yeah, the fight has definitely been there. I think when you see young players, particularly guys that don't get a lot of opportunities, I think Brock Hoffman definitely brings that different type of energy that everybody on offense loves. You got to recognize Josh Butler, just the way he played. Came on Hall. I mean, he's a tough kid. These younger guys that are getting opportunities but going in and playing with physicality and so forth. So I think that just shows to them and as individuals, the confidence that they have. But this group has really stayed the course. We're still pretty far down in the valley of adversity right now. So we've made one step in the right direction. So we've still got a lot of climbing to do. So I mean, it's definitely to get some. It was great to get some, wind under our wings and start that. But this game is going to come on. This Thursday game comes on you so fast. It really does. And really, the rest of the recovery I think is critical. You learn that over time of how the planning and training of the team to get ready for this game. So that's really where my mind is and my heart is too, because I do know how important it is for this locker room, because we need this game. We recognize that the urgency's there, but we got a long ways to go.
Still some hope from this Cowboys coaching staff, and it radiates into the locker room as well. Even at a 4-7 record, there's still chances to make a run down the stretch. As we welcome in Nick Eatman from the sidelines at AT&T Stadium. Nick, what has been the feel around this team over the last couple of days? They finally get the win in Washington this past weekend in that losing streak, and now have an opportunity to double dip in a short week like this.
Well, relief is the first thing that the Cowboys felt, obviously getting that win. But you look at the schedule, and I think I heard you say a few minutes ago about what Isaiah said. Actually, is that the reality is that you're playing some of the tougher part of your schedule earlier on. It's what it looks like. you've got some games you should be able to win here, including this one right here. I mean, the Giants, they're a lot like what the Cowboys were last week. When you look at it, they've got some. They're at their backup and now their third quarterback. They got some rumbling going on, talking about the coach of the future and all this kind of stuff, getting him the ball. We've seen all that kind of stuff. Yet the Cowboys figured out a way to go win in Washington. I wonder if the Giants are thinking, hey, we can do the same thing.
That's exactly the case, and of course they're regalvanized with a new quarterback in Drew Lock. Can you tell us what the messaging has been from the Cowboys' defensive side of the ball this week? Because they didn't know if Tommy DeVito would start at quarterback. Now they know it will be Drew Lock after DeVito did not travel with the team this week. Does that change anything for Mike Zimmer's unit?
Well, it should. It should change it because I think Lock can get the ball down the field a little bit more. He's got a dangerous arm. He's got arm talent. Now, both teams will catch the football on him, and he'll throw interceptions. We've seen that in his career. He's got 23 career interceptions, 28 touchdowns, so he can get the ball in the end zone probably both ways. And Deron Bland, I'm sure, would love to get another pick six in his second game back. But, from a defensive standpoint, the Cowboys just can't get everybody on it together. Bland's back, but Trayvon Diggs isn't, and Marshawn Nealon comes back for a game, and now he's out. So they just can't get the full unit together, but they've done it all season long, having to play with what they've got.
We saw Josh Butler step up in a big way last week in a situation similar to what we're going to see again today. Who's another name that you can expect to take a step forward today against the Giants that could ultimately help being the difference for the Dallas defense or offense?
Well, honestly, it all starts, it trickles down. I mean, it starts with Micah Parsons. I mean, but with the Giants having their issues on their offensive line, it's got to start with Micah. Now, then who after that? Boy, Chauncey Golston had a great game against Washington. He could benefit again from doing that. I could see Carl Lawson maybe being someone who has a big day here on Thanksgiving, getting to the quarterback as well. So it's going to have to be those guys. Josh Butler, for me, it's less is more. 12 tackles is too many for a cornerback. That means they're catching it on you. You're making a play. You need to have less tackles, maybe more pass breakups, and then obviously the Cowboys can maybe make a play on the ball.
Nick, what's the state of the offensive line without Zach Martin in the fold again this week?
Well, I think there's a lot more confidence in the backups now just after that game. I mean, Brock Hoffman, T.J. Bassett, they did a great job. From what it sounds like, Hoffman will be the guy to start here at right guard for Zach Martin. But, big game for Tyler Guyton. He has to continue to learn how to be an NFL offensive tackle. He's not going anywhere. I don't even think he's going to the right side. People say that all the time. He's going to continue to play left tackle. They're going to continue to get him better. He's not a top 5 pick. He's a first-round pick. They knew he needed work, and guess what? He's getting it, and we're seeing it firsthand. He's learning on the job. But I think this could be a big step for him if he has a big game, because he struggled against the Giants last time out. Thibodeau really gave him some fits. We'll see how much he's improved this time around.
It's a redemption game for Tyler Guyton, and it's an encore for guys like Brock Hoffman on that offensive line. Nick Eatman, thanks so much joining us from the sidelines at AT&T Stadium. We'll catch up with you down the line. Now, of course, there's plenty to come here on Cowboys Pregame Live, including Stephen Jones. We just heard from Nick Eatman. He'll catch up one-on-one with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones here in a matter of moments. But we've also got a lot to talk about with this quarterback position. Cooper Rush had a great game last week against the Washington Commanders. Can he continue taking a step forward? Feels like there's some confidence there with this offense moving forward.
3 starts now. Is there a level of comfortability that comes when you haven't played in a long time, but now you've been kind of eased back into it? Do you feel more acclimated now than the first start this season?
Yeah, there's a rhythm to being the starter, throughout the week, and then obviously out there on game day. I wouldn't say knock the rust off or anything, but there's a comfort level of getting back out there for sure. It's human nature. It's natural. You can prepare all you want, but game reps are game reps.
The center exchanges with DB, is that more about you being kind of new to him, he's new to you, or just as football, those things happen from time to time?
Yeah, it's football. Those happen. We're obviously working on it, and it's obviously a major point of focus, and we'll be better.
Speaking of human nature, coming out of a wild and crazy win like you guys had in Washington, human nature dictates that you probably have to kind of get yourself rebalanced and regrounded going into a short week like this. But with your even keel, can you talk about how that benefits you going into having another game in only 4 days?
Yeah, the short week doesn't really let you dwell too long. I mean, I don't even think we didn't watch it together as a staff or as a team. You know, it's kind of just like, oh, we won there. Now, I mean, we walked in the building on Monday and it was Giants, and that's how it has to be. And that's the mindset guys have. It's like, you know, we just wanted to get that first one, and we finally did. And now we're excited to get the next one, and that's kind of how we're viewing it.
Cooper Rush, of course, with plenty of confidence, being in this offense the last couple of years, and now stepping in as the starter yet again for the Cowboys. Finally got his first win, which I think it was always going into this season. It was going to be Cooper as the backup. He helped solidify that with the win last week.
Oh, definitely. You know, he was the first week he was just a little off with his receivers. The next week did a better job, and man, it just came together for him. No interceptions, mixed in with that run game, play action pass, throwing the passes that he liked, not going too deep here and there. Cooper Rush did a nice job.
Well, and one of the things that helped out in that process was getting Rico Dowdle the football early and often. How much did the run game help last week for Cooper Rush, and how do you establish it again today?
And going against Dan Quinn team, he loves to get you a second and long, third and long pass situation. He wanted to just rush the passer, but Coach McCarthy kept enough run plays in there. Rico read the holes right with that young offensive line coming off the ball so they can make it easier for Cooper Rush, where he could drop back, get the ball out of his hands. Our tight ends came up big. Once again, C.D. Lamb played great. And when you got people playing for your quarterback and the coaches is helping them along with the run game, it was a nice thing last week, Kyle.
And, of course, Rico Dowdle, whenever they've given him the ball more than 19 times in a game, they're 2-0. Those two games was last week against the Washington Commanders. And then the last win for the Cowboys back on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you expect 19-plus touches? It doesn't have to be carries. It could be receptions. Do you expect that today?
This New York team has lost the last 4 or 5 games, and the average carry for each team has been at least 32.
Wow.
Yes, around 130, 140 yards at 5.1 a clip. So if they can do this right here, they can go in there and get like close to 30 carries, man, over 115 yards. Maybe they can take this game. Just stay patient. You won. Just come home and take advantage of it.
The the Giants defense has allowed at least 140 yards rushing in their last 7 games.
Yes.
The Dallas Cowboys season high this year, 137. Something will have to give one way or the other unless the Cowboys want to rush for 138 or 39 yards. And then nothing has to give in that regard, and I think we would take that on the ground. Now, the offensive line, we just talked about it with Nick a moment ago. It's a little shaken up. You don't have Zach Martin again. Tyler Smith is back this week, which is a plus for the left guard spot. What have you seen from this young offensive line? Guys like Brock Hoffman, T.J. Bass, Awesome Richards prior to his injury. They placed him on IR this week. What have you seen up front from that offensive line?
Last week, Brock Hoffman, T.J. Bass, and Cooper Beebe played great. They gave Cooper a chance to stand up in the pocket, move around inside the pockets, and that helped our tackles. All we need for is Tyler Guyton to get on this train with everybody else so Coach can feel confident in calling plays his way, and things should be all right. This offensive line is growing by leaps and bounds. We just need a healthy, consistent 5 guys up there.
What do you think about the decision to start Brock Hoffman at right guard instead of T.J. Bass today?
Man, as John Wayne would say, he rough as a cob, man. This dude can get at folks. He's an agitator. He reminds me of Kevin Gogan, man. Not the most gifted, most athletic guy, but he's going to stay on his block, he's going to finish blocks, and he's going to agitate guys to the point where you can almost guarantee the penalty against him.
No, this is going to be a great test for Brock Hoffman, who knows his role in this Cowboys offensive line. He grew up as a coach's kid, and he said that's helped him lead the way throughout his career here in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I grew up a coach's son. My dad was a college coach, and he always told me you got to play the game nasty. You know, it was a little bit different back then, you know, in the 80s and whatnot. But, you know, for me, I just want to break them down mentally. You know, I feel like if I keep talking to them, I'm in their ear every play in and play out, then they're eventually going to fold.
Would you say you're the best trash talker on this team?
I would say so, yeah, for sure.
What's the key to trash talk?
Nah, I don't really do research or homework. You just find one thing that kind of sets them off and you just keep going at it.
There's a look at AT&T Stadium. Of course, the Cowboys getting ready to face the New York Giants. As you see on the big screen there, Lainey Wilson, she'll be the Red Kettle Kickoff presented by Salvation Army, kicking off the holiday season in a big way. Back alongside Barry Church and Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Now, with a rivalry game like this, there's always a little trash talk, especially within the division, the second time you see an opponent. So I've got some questions for you guys. You guys played at a high level, played this game very, very well. Who's the best trash talker you've ever played against, Barry Church? I'll let you start.
Man.
Best one. And it could be on your team or with them. Either way, I'm okay with the answer.
Oh, man. Yeah, I played against a lot.
Let's start with against. How about this? Let's start with against.
Okay, I'm going to have to say a guy that I played against a lot for the Philadelphia Eagles was LaShawn McCoy. That dude, I mean, they call him Shady for a reason. This guy would talk so much trash. They would be down 30, up 30. It didn't matter. I've watched this guy literally make somebody miss, and as the guy's missing the tackle, he's looking down at him saying, I told you couldn't hold me. It doesn't matter what's going on. Passing plays. He might not even be getting the rock. It could be an incomplete pass. If he gets you on a route, he's talking trash, and he's letting everybody know about it. He's not making it intimate between you and him. He's letting everybody know that he just beat you on this, that, or the third. I mean, it didn't matter from snap 1 to the fourth quarter snap. This dude would not stop talking, but he had the game to back it up, so I guess you could do those type of things.
And he's continued that into his media career as well, especially when it comes to the Cowboys.
I'm going to go ahead and just talk about the guys that I play with. And I played probably two of the best smack talkers of all time, and that's going to be T.O. And it's going to be Pac-Man Jones. So T.O. and Pac-Man Jones, and at one point in time, I had them both on my team at the same time. So being able to not only have those guys not only in my room, but going against Pac-Man in practice all the time was absolutely insane. He doesn't stop talking, just like Shed. He just doesn't stop talking. Highly competitive at that. So you got somebody who's highly competitive, and they won't stop talking. And if they get beat, they're talking about run it back, bring it back up here, we're going to run it back again until I win so I can keep talking smack. It's always a good atmosphere, though.
Yeah. No doubt. And of course, part of why we're talking about this is because of Brock Hoffman, because of his I mean, he's got a mean streak.
He wants to smoke.
I like to call him a glass eater. He's up front, and that's just what he does. He's a tough guy that you can block behind, that you can run behind, and then really he's the one that likes to start the fight and finish the fight, if that makes sense. And that's a good thing to have on your offensive line. Now, if you had to compare your trash-talking skills to some of the guys that you just mentioned, what would it be like?
For me personally, see, I was never a huge talker. I was more just lead by example, and, you know, my talking is I'm going to knock you on your butt. Like that's exactly what my talking was. I wasn't going to talk back and forth, all that good stuff. My talking was through my play. That's how I did it. How about you, Isaiah?
I was the same way. I didn't do a lot of talking. I would talk back if you talk to me. But usually I like to impose my physical will on somebody, right? I like to make them walk away with their tail between their legs. That was kind of the person that I was. So if it was a cornerback and he was talking a bunch of mess, I would just pick him up to the point where he's off his feet and his feet are dangling like a little kid. That's kind of what I like to do. So no matter, anytime he sees me from that day forward, he knows he got picked up like a little boy.
Now, I want to bring Nate back into the fold here. He wasn't in this segment. Nate, I have a feeling that you were not like these guys in the fact that you were a trash talker.
No, I wasn't.
At the point of attack.
I had to concentrate on the play and the snap.
Wasting no energy.
I don't think I don't know if I believe it.
But I can tell you, Andre Muddy Waters was the coldest trash talker for Philadelphia to say. He was it. Him and John Randall. John Randall was this tall. Never stopped talking. Hall of Famer, man. So, but Big E was our thumper. That's who would talk all the noise, man. And
he's so chill now.
Yeah, he's so chill. Christian guy, the head deacon of the church.
Then, huh?
Yeah, but not back then.
See, when I look at all the old practice film, you're the one that's setting the tone and the vocal leader of the team. I figured
was
that
the
would
vocal
just
prankster of the team. I always had jokes going and stuff. Kevin Gogan was another trash talker. You know, you can take a guy over the pile and Kevin will act like he done. Like, I told y'all gonna dump you. Like, Kevin, you didn't dump this dude. Yeah. But he was like Shady McCoy, you know. And so, but we were special now. We brought that heat and 3 Super Bowls.
You're darn right you did. You are absolutely true. Now, there's a lot going on, of course, throughout the holiday season. There's a little trash talking I'd like to get into. One of our best trash talkers on the staff is Nicole Hutchison. Believe it or not, she is fantastic at it. She took her skills to the next level with a little Thanksgiving trivia. Nicole?
Well, guys, from locker room all week, I got a chance to talk to a couple of the guys and get their mindset heading into this matchup, and they are dialed in. They're locked in, but I had to do something a little bit different, right? Get their minds off of the matchup just for a quick second because they have family, they have friends coming in, but most importantly, they have some good food that they're about to be eating after these games, or maybe they even had it before these games. So I caught up with some of the guys to talk all things talking Thanksgiving. Do you cook, Damon?
Nah.
You don't cook?
Nah, my mom's do.
But you can eat, though.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Like I mentioned before, we're still doing a little bit of talking Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving Day. Got Wanye. We're going to see if he has some good taste, though. I'm judging. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to do a little bit of judging. All right. Sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie?
Neither.
Neither. Okay, so what's your... Thank you! Shut up! Sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie?
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie all day.
Thank you. All day.
All day.
Warmed up or cold?
Warmed up.
Cranberry sauce, yay or nay?
Cranberry sauce, I love it. Gotta go on everything. Yep.
So you like your food touching?
I don't mind it.
I'm so judging you right now.
Nay, I don't need none of that.
I don't know why Wanye said he loves it over his whole plate.
I never really tried it, but I'm willing to try it for sure. I think do you put it on the turkey?
I don't put it on anything, but Wanye apparently puts it on his whole plate, so...
Then I'll give it a try then. If Wanye puts it on his whole plate, it might be worth giving it a try.
Who would you not trust on the team to cook your Thanksgiving Day meal?
Who would I not trust on the team to cook? Oh, man. I'll probably say Zeke. I don't think Zeke can cook, bro. I've never seen him in a kitchen. I know he can eat, but I don't know if he can cook, though.
Oh, T-Wheat.
Why?
T-Wheat.
Have you had his cooking before?
Oh, he can't cook.
Chauncey Golston. Chauncey Golston.
I think Chauncey could cook. I feel like he could cook.
I'm telling you that he can't.
What's your go-to side on your plate?
Oh, my mama cornbread dressing. Honestly, it was always mac and cheese.
Side is mac and cheese.
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have it. It just completes the meal.
All right, well, I don't know what Wanye was talking about, but mac and cheese is always my go-to side. So it was only right to have it here because best believe I'm finna just tear this up once I get off camera. All right, I'm gonna send it back to you guys in the studio.
Oh, you know what that means, a little church music. That means it's time for a little church service on a Thanksgiving. It's not Sunday, it's Thursday, but who cares? We've got Barry Church in the house, and that means that we are going to have some knowledge dropped about this Cowboys defense. Now, I want to talk about the turnover category. Okay. The Cowboys haven't been perfect in terms of forcing turnovers and taking the football away, kind of like they did the last 3 years under Dan Quinn. There's an art to the turnover. Barry was there. Yes, you were the artist at times when you were wearing the Cowboys uniform. I want to talk about punching the ball out. How do you do so? There's a couple ways that you can find a way to work this thing free. Isaiah, of course, is our offensive representative. Yeah. I want you to strip the football from Isaiah.
All right, so there's three ways that a defender loves to take the football away from an offensive guy when you talk about forcing fumbles out there. The first technique, I didn't do too often because I wasn't the fastest guy. And when you have to do this first technique,
give yourself a little bit.
Just a little bit, but you got to catch the guy from behind. So if Isaiah's taking off, he's looking at where he's going right now. He's worried about the defenders in front of him, trying to shake him up left and right, trying to see what they got going on. But me, I'm chasing them down. I'm focused on that football. And what you got to do in this instance is first and foremost, you got to make sure you got somebody to wrap him up right here, all right? You got to. Because if you go and miss that football, more than likely Isaiah is out the gate, touchdown, first down, whatever you want to call it. But when you come into this situation, you got to make sure you wrap him up top. Then you want to make sure you get that punch on the fat of the football right there. That way when you punch through, that ball's out, and then you have your teammates hustling, trying to get the football, but you got to make sure you hit the fat of the ball. If you hit the elbow, you hit the arm, you hit the rib, he might feel it a little bit, but he's going to secure that football, and he's going to keep going the rest of the way. The second technique that when we talk about this is one of my favorites, and this is where you have your teammates involved. Your linebackers, we got Sean Lee, a.k.a. Kyle Yeomans out there.
I'm Sean Lee.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Let's go. The size is about the same.
That means I'm great at wrapping up, getting some tackles.
That's true.
Yeah, giving opportunities for guys like Barry Church to fly in.
Exactly what we love. All right, so Kyle's going to go in there and wrap the ball carrier up. This is why defense is a unit and we all work together. With him wrapped up, I can easily go in there and support the tackle. We live for another down, but you don't want to do that. You want to be a great player out there. So when Kyle has him wrapped up right there, if I'm a playmaker, I'm going in there, I'm trying to get my hand wedged right in there between his chest plate and the football, all right? You don't want to go in there soft and try to pull it out all soft because 9 times out of 10, these guys in the league, they're strong like Isaiah. They're going to be able to hold on to that football. So you got to go in there violent. Kyle has them wrapped up. I'm coming in there violent. I'm going in there, getting my hand, wedging it between the chest plate and the football, and I'm ripping out hard as heck for the rest of my teammates to go in there and pick up the football. They're going to be hustling. They're going to be trying to get the ball and making sure they secure it for the defensive side of the football. And last but not least, we have one of the best ways to take the football away from an offensive player, and it was made famous by a guy in Chicago.
Peanut.
Yep, there it is. That's his name. Peanut Tillman. This guy was unbelievable. He had hand-eye coordination better than anybody that I know. And to do this technique, you got to have the Floyd Mayweather type hands right here. Because if you come in there and you think, oh, I'm just going to pity patter it like that, man, you're going to get ran over 9 times out of 10. And if you don't have that great hand-eye coordination, I wouldn't recommend this in the open field. I recommend it in a corridor, a box where it's just you and that man. He has to go through you in order to get the first down. So in this instance, you see Isaiah coming at me. I'm focused on the football. I'm coming down with all my strength on top of the football, punching that thing down, making sure my other teammates can come in there and scoop it up. But those are the 3 techniques of taking the football away from an offensive guy when you talk about forcing the fumble out there.
You know that when Barry Church is breathing hard like this, that means it's back to normal, back to Barry. This is his comfort zone right here. It felt like you were actually going to hit Isaiah at one point there. You almost flashed back. Now, as an offensive player, quickly run through how can you combat all of those techniques and avoid a turnover, because the Cowboys offense hasn't been great at holding on to the football at times.
Well, listen, for all my young guns out there and for all my flag football champions, okay, especially those who are going to be out there on the field today, there's 5 points of pressure, okay? First point of pressure is going to be your fingertips, okay? You want to make sure you get the top of the ball. You guys just heard Barry talking about how he's looking for the tip of the ball. If I don't wrap that up, that is a target for a defender to go in there and grab that, get some leverage, and pull away. So that's the first point of contact that you have to have. Secure that. So you guys see I have my index finger on the top there. The next one is going to be your palm. Okay, so I got my index finger, then I'm going to put it on my palm. Next one is forearm, okay, bicep, and then chest. Okay, so again, fingertip, secure the tip, place it in the palm, put it on your forearm, get your bicep involved, and then pull that thing across your chest. Now, no matter what technique that Barry just finished talking about, okay, if he tries to punch it from underneath, it's on my body. If he tries to punch it from the top, he's punching the ball into my body. If he tries to grab the tip, then I can literally still have it and I can spin out of it if I want to. I'm never losing leverage of the ball. Those 5 points of pressure take care of all the issues that he just presented. So make sure that you guys take care of that. I don't care what field you're on. It doesn't matter flag football, doesn't matter young football, old football.
It could be the Turkey Bowl that's happening today. You could be out there in the backyard and you can show off the 5 points of pressure on the football. Make sure that this doesn't happen and it doesn't end up in a fumble the other way. Sorry, I say football loose. All right, next 4 opponents for the Cowboys. This is an opportunity for Dallas to get back on track. They have a number of teams that they're facing that haven't been winning football games. And if that's the case, you're looking at really a win today if you take care of business. A tough one against Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is still playing at a very high level, but that's at home on Monday Night Football. You could possibly win that. You could start rattling off 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and then all of a sudden you're back in that playoff conversation. There's a lot of the fan base right now that is timid on doing so because winning a football game in the NFL is not easy, but that's exactly what the goal is. Here's Wanye Thomas speaking on this earlier in the week.
If there's outside noise, people say the Cowboys should tank for a better draft. How do players...
Man, listen, we really don't care for that because it's guys in this room that their life is on the line, and me being one of them people, man. So, I'm undrafted, and then just hearing that is like, it's kind of like disrespect to us for real. But hearing that's just noise for real, and we just worry about what's inside here because we have a great team. We got younger talent, older talent, and then we just merge, man. And this is a great group of guys.
I feel like you just got dealt the short straw with some of the injuries this season and could never really kind of right the ship.
I mean, injuries happen. Next guy's got to be ready to play, you know what I'm saying?
So I feel like this is something we've got to talk about as a group, as Cowboys Nation collectively, as we welcome you back into the set. Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. The win or tank, it's a conversation throughout the entire NFL, whether it's Dallas or not, but you're sitting there at 3-7 last week. You get a crazy win. I mean, we broke it down after the fact on Cowboys Game Night, Cowboys OT, had a lot of fun doing so, and yet a lot of the fan base, there was some animosity there on whether it was a good thing or not because you're hurting your draft pick. You went from 9th in the first round to 11th with that win last week, by the way. That's all that it ended up switching for you. So the debate is there, win or tank. We know what those guys want to do. They want to win. Yeah. What do you say, Isaiah?
Yeah, there's no tanking as a player. It's not a thing. And I don't know, you guys might get a different response up here, but I highly doubt it. There's no tanking as a player. The reason why, you are an individual, right? Not only you're a contractor. You're a contract employee in the league. So you're always putting on for the next opportunity. Or you're always trying to defend your current opportunity. So you never get a chance to relax. And you're always trying to get that bag or that ring. Neither of those are going to have you don't have opportunity to tank and get either one of those things. You're not going to get the bag by tanking. You're not going to get no ring by tanking. So there's no opportunity for that. And on top of that, you're a competitor, right? Everybody, if you get to the league, you're a competitor. That's just not in you. That might be some front office talk, but that's never in the locker room.
Yeah, well, Isaiah is 1,000% correct. When you talk about football, there is no such thing as tanking. You know, you may be able to get away with that type of stuff in basketball or some other type of sport, but in football, there's too many guys in that locker room with pride and heart, and they want to play for the name on the back of their jersey if that's the only thing that they're going out there playing for. I mean, there's no such thing in tanking. And with all due respect to Trey Lance, I'm glad that this organization didn't go ahead after that first, loss that the Cowboys had with Cooper Rush at the helm. Go ahead and put Trey Lance in there because that would have showed to the locker room that, you know what, this is it. We're thinking about the future. We're thinking about next year. No, they stuck with Cooper Rush because they understood that gave this team the best opportunity to win games going into the future of this season. So these guys are going to play for Coach McCarthy. They're going to give their all because they know that at least that coaching staff is going to give their all to the players as well. But when it comes to tanking, there's just no such thing as that in football.
That kind of touches me, man, because I've been in so many losing situations where people want to do that right there. My job is on the line. This is first round or second round pick that we tanking for. It could be an offensive tackle or offensive guard. Yep. It could be a safety. It could be a wide receiver. And I'm giving up. I'm working hard every week. I'm going out there trying to be the best I can be. And all you can think about is tanking. Don't raise your kids like that.
Yeah.
To give up. Never, ever give up. That's what tanking means.
And we talked about it a little earlier, too, with the situation at hand and the schedule that's in front of you. There is a window. It's not a very wide open window. It's not 12-5 like it has been the last 3 regular seasons. However, there's a chance to sneak in. And if you sneak in, the rest is still up in the air. You can do whatever you want from that point forward, but this would be an opportunity for this coaching staff, for these players to continue moving forward. Now, there's a lot of guys that are up for consideration in the Pro Bowl as well. Of course, Pro Bowl voting started this week. You can vote at DallasCowboys.com. Here are some of the names that are at least in the running right now. I know one name I see up there, actually 2 names I see up there that are a lock for me, and it's probably the 2 guys at the bottom, right?
The guys that were not drafted?
That were not drafted, Kevontae Turpin and Brandon Aubrey. Interesting. You can wait. You're saying you can find talent anywhere other than the top 10 picks of the draft?
You can find talent in spring ball.
This is true.
Interesting.
The two best.
Where were you drafted?
Wasn't drafted at all.
Oh, interesting. How many years you played for the Cowboys?
9 years deep.
Yeah, 9 years.
7 years here.
7 years.
2 in Jacksonville. Decent career.
Nate.
Yeah. I don't know how many, about 16 years.
Yeah. When were you drafted?
I wasn't drafted. I was a first-round free agent.
Interesting. I know Isaiah was drafted, so
it doesn't matter. But to your point, though, 2 of the most, contributing players on your team right now were guys that were found in the spring league.
Yeah. Part of it. Part of it. Let's hear from one of those guys. Let's hear from Cavante Turpin. Had the big-time return last week, 99 yards to the house. It was electrifying. What does he have for an encore, and what is his mindset moving forward?
Talk about your speed. You may be the fastest man in the NFL.
Yeah, man, I've been saying that over the years, man, but people thinking I'll just be talking, man. I've been telling them, man, for years, man. Even when I wasn't in the NFL, man, I told them I could be the, I always been the fastest person on this planet. That's how I feel. So, yeah, man, I've been feeling like I'm the fastest person in the NFL.
When you're kind of going through the the USFL and all that stuff, I mean, was maybe your speed, was that something that maybe just kept you confidence? Like, hey, like I see guys in the NFL I'm faster than. I know once I get an opportunity that maybe I can showcase it.
No, I just knew, man, just me, man, as a ball player, man, I knew that, I could play at this level, man, just, no matter what league I was in, I just cherished that moment to the fullest. I just always knew I could play in this league, bro, and I'm just happy God blessed me to showcase it, this year.
So Cavante Turpin with that mindset that he is the fastest man in the NFL. I love the call from Joe Davis last week on the touchdown where he did reiterate that. Fastest man in the NFL down the left sideline, and he was burners to the house. Lots to look forward to in terms of it. What was that? You don't think so?
To Tyreek Hill or Xavier Worthy.
Ooh, they're all there.
That's some speed.
Xavier Worthy proved it at the Combine, broke the record for the fastest 40-yard dash out of Texas last year. Just
all
a rookie,
receivers in the league.
Just a rookie.
I'm telling you, I'll put my first 2 steps on him, though.
Right? Yeah, think so?
Yeah, after that, we can have what
you might pull a hammy in the process.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's been some good, but there's also been some bad with the special teams, especially recently.
Yeah.
It's been this was really the lock for the Cowboys in the first 8, 9, 10 games of the year. And then the last 2 weeks, it's kind of pitter-pattered down the stretch. Is this something to be concerned about, the special teams miscues? Saw a bunch of them last week, a missed field goal against Houston 2 weeks ago. Is this something to be concerned about moving forward?
You know what, Kyle? I'm not concerned. I'm not too concerned when it comes to this. This special teams unit has too much firepower to be concerned about. We just saw what happened with Turpin last week. He was able to flip the game like that with a return down the sidelines. And then you also got one of the best long-range field goal kickers in maybe National Football League history in Brandon Aubrey. The only thing that I'm slightly concerned about when it comes to this special teams unit is the decision-making with a couple of these fake punts in the type of situation that the game is evolving into. So to me, I'm not worried about the special teams unit, just the decision-making. You get that under wraps, then you got some real firepower on that side of the football.
See, and this is why we brothers, because you're leading into what I'm trying to talk
100%.
about. Listen, I am concerned in regards to exactly what Barry just said, the decision-making. But the decision-making is coming on the heels of the fact that you're no longer looking at your special teams third, right? It's a third of the game. You got offense, defense, and special teams. That third of the game used to be your greatest complementary player. Now you're looking for that third of the game to be your deciding factor. You're looking for your special teams unit now to win you ball games instead of it being a complement to what your offense or your defense does. So what that affects is your decision making. Now, if my offense isn't producing and my defense can't stop somebody, hey, special teams, go out there and run a fake. We need some extra juice. Hey, let's go ahead and kick it from the 20-yard line if we're trying to kick a field goal or 80-yard field goal. All these things start happening and it starts snowballing. And then all of a sudden, when those negative things happen, now you start having question marks in your head as a special teams unit, and the things that were common for you, now all of a sudden you got to be legendary to make them happen.
I agree with you 100%, Isaiah. This has to be specialty has to be a highlight, especially when you go on the road. And when you come home, hey, that's when you explode all over the place. You have to be the most consistent unit when you're a special teams guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, you've also got a couple guys that are inactive on that special teams unit, too, this week. Of course, some of the guys that you've relied on in terms of special teams previously, like Orion Flanoy, Marshawn Nealon played some significant snaps, at least in the 6 games as a rookie this year. They are both out. And then we heard from Nick earlier, Trayvon Diggs, Jake Ferguson, Zach Martin, 3 different starters that are out. Deuce Vaughn, I know you don't like that one.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it. And the reason why I hate it, I know we don't have time to talk about it. I dislike it. I really dislike it. Cavante Turpin is probably your most electrifying player, right, on your team.
Yeah.
Period, right? He had 1 attempt, 1 catch, 8 yards last week. He's the most electrifying person that you have. That's not to say he's your best player. That's not to say he's your best catcher. He's the most electrifying. Deuce Vaughn is not far behind. He's not far behind. Neither one of these guys are being given enough opportunities, and they're both capable of doing so much for your team if you can put them in positions that actually make plays.
I think at this point they're doing it just to irk
Probably,
you a little bit.
probably.
They see it every week on pregame, and they're like, you know what? Let's just
Get at this dude.
Give him a minute just to get after Isaiah a little bit. Now let's talk about Jake Ferguson. He was out last week. Luke Schoonmaker stepped up, had the touchdown grab, actually played pretty well, both as a blocker and as a receiver. How much are they missing Jake Ferguson in the fold on offense?
If you would have asked me this about 2 weeks ago, I'd have been like, man, this is a major, major miss for the offense. But the past 2 weeks, Schoonmaker, man, he's been taking advantage of these opportunities. I mean, like we saw the touchdown against the Commanders out there. He had a great game against Houston out there. Look, I'm going to tell you one thing, Ferguson, because I've been in this situation as well. You better get back healthy. All right, you better get back healthy because Schoonmaker is taking a lot of these opportunities that you would have had if you would have been on the football field.
And he was a second-round pick, so he has some leverage.
This
there.
is true.
He has some leverage there. You know who else has leverage? 6'7", 260 pounds of Brevin Spanford. I like big Brevin Spanford. He is building his confidence. All right, he is a big body in there, and all those red zone plays that used to go to Ferguson, like you said, if they're not going to Schoonmaker, you know who they're going to go to? Spanford. We're a Ford family, baby.
One of them is an A blocker. That's what Ferguson has on all of them. Schoonmaker can catch that rock. He showed, he showed he can run out the catch. But I watched the film last week. He can't block like my boy Fergie. Okay. I'm telling you now, Brevin Spanford, this dude is coming.
Yes, sir.
That's who both of them better be worried about. Because this dude catches everything that they throw to him, and he don't. And this man, but 6'8", 380 pounds. He's a huge individual. So yeah, that's what you need to worry about. But Schoon, he got too much work to do on his block.
Not to keep harping on it, but you know where Brevin Spanford was drafted? He wasn't. He
Wow.
wasn't drafted.
Let's go,
you know where Luke Schoonmaker was drafted? Second round.
Second round.
Wow. Still talking about the same talent. Talent is talent. I'm just saying. I host the draft show, and I still am talking about it this way. You can find talent either way,
Yes, sir.
no matter if you're tanking or not, just to continue that conversation from earlier. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium and hear from Nicole Hutchison. It's not just about football today. It's about family and the community as well.
We're getting closer to kickoff here in AT&T Stadium between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, but we're also getting closer to the official start of the 134th Annual Red Kettle Campaign. That's a campaign launched by the Salvation Army for 134 years. Now it's the 28th year that they've partnered with the Dallas Cowboys, and if you look back to 2023, they serviced about 27 million people. This campaign aims to service people that can't afford to have those Thanksgiving meals or afford to feed themselves and their families during this time and even be around their families. The Dallas Cowboys actually kicked off this campaign a little bit earlier, a couple of weeks ago. They do this every year, go to different locations in the Salvation Armies in the Dallas area to feed. They fed about 600 people, 600 men and women this year. So they're hoping to get a little bit more donations this year and build off of what they were able to do in 2023. But guys, let me tell you, the vibes are so amazing right now. It's going to be a great halftime show as well. Lainey Wilson, one of the best country singers going out right now, will be performing, so make sure to tune in. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Of course, the Cowboys really helping with C.D. Lamb and continuing with what he has in store as well. It's a feast for C.D. Lamb, what he's bringing to the table this week against the New York Giants. He's been fantastic throughout the year in terms of that extra possession receiver. What does he have to do to take it to the next level, even playing through some injury and playing for some pride as well?
Man, I'm banged up. I ain't gonna even lie to you, and that's just what it is, bro. It's that time of the year in the season. So I ain't gonna get no specifics, but yeah, no, we straight. But as far as for me, man, the pride is unbelievable. I'm willing to do whatever to go out there and have my presence felt. And if it's, not so much if it's not, but with me being out there, I feel like the guys are more comfortable and they're able to play as confident and as fast as they want, knowing they'll get the looks that they want. And man, I'm all for the team winning, as you can, if you can't tell by now.
Is there things you can't do?
Is there things I can't do?
Yeah,
nah, I plan on, and I'm not saying that obviously on no cocky stuff. It's just I train to be in any kind of position. Obviously some be a little bit unfortunate or like triple teamed or double teamed, but you can't really train for those, obviously. But as far as conditioning and running the routes and getting open and blocking and
Taking handoffs
all
when you're
that,
banged up.
all of it. Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, bro, I love the game of sport. I love who I play for. I love who I'm doing it for. I love everything that the game has to offer. So with that, I'm giving it full-fledged.
So CeeDee Lamb continuing to lead the way from a reception standpoint. Kind of been impressed with what he's brought to the table as really a leader since those early moments in the year where there was some question on the sideline, maybe a couple things that weren't going his way. He stepped up in a big way. Do you feel like he's continuing to take a step in the fold as a top wide receiver in the NFL?
Without a doubt. To me, he's a top 3 wide receiver in the National Football League. I'm not surprised that, he's leading the league in receptions and he's up there with the yards as well, because when you look at it, he's the best receiver on this team by far. I mean, by far. And they're force-feeding this guy the football, and you got to be able to do so. With no rushing attack out there, you got to find a way to be productive, and CeeDee Lamb is your guy. But to me, when you talk about CeeDee Lamb, where he's taking even a bigger step forward is his leadership. Like you just mentioned, when you talk about before, when things weren't going his way, we saw the body language. We saw the arms flaying all over the place. Now he's getting these targets, and he's not just talking about it. He's making contested catches, and he's bringing guys along with him. When you talk about the Turpins of the world, the Tolberts of the world, when you see your big dog being able to go out there making those contested catches, not worrying about, is the ball placed here, the ball placed there, just going out there and eating like that, that brings the rest of the wide receiver units with you, and he's really stepped up and become one of the best leaders on this offensive side of the football.
He is taking a leap in terms of leadership because he is now becoming selfless. And that's the one thing that was not a term that was not affiliated with CeeDee Lamb up until this year. We saw it early in the season, as Barry just mentioned, where he was selfish, right, in regards to his body language, in regards to how he was communicating. And I think that was seeing that, right? It's one thing to hear that you don't have leadership. It's another thing to see it. And I think him being able to go back and see how he reacted on the sideline was eye-opening for him. And he has taken strides since then. Not only in his ability to get the receptions, not only his ability to make big plays and catches, but in his off-the-ball things, the things that he's doing in terms of blocking, in terms of effort when he's running the routes, when he's supposed to be clearing out, all those extra effort things that really you don't have to do when you're number one receiver. He's doing them because he wants to show the example of how he expects everybody to be able to show up and play.
Yes, and then when you see that right there, the way he attacks the ball now, where he go at contested balls even harder, and he made a few plays last week for his quarterback, man. I mean, a route where he was throwing to 3 guys, bad throw, but you know what? He came out of there with that ball. So his attitude has changed, the way he plays has changed, and he's playing through a lot of pain.
And guys, it's crazy. He's got a little bit of help returning.
Oh, man.
Brandon Cooks.
Beast. Your boy.
He's back in the kitchen. Brandon Cooks back in the kitchen on Thanksgiving. He's got a chance to play significant snaps today. Last time he played was against the Giants up in a Thursday night football game in the Meadowlands at MetLife Stadium. Now he returns against the Giants on a Thursday at AT&T Stadium. What can he do to open things up on offense?
Well, he still has that go juice. He still can go out there and break the top of a defense off. He's still one of the most polished receivers in the National Football League. But I'm going to throw it to my boy Isaiah here, because this has been your guy since the beginning of the season. You talk about Cooks being that number 2 wide receiver. What you think, big dog?
It's time for Cooks to cook on Thanksgiving, and he's going to do just that. You talked about how CeeDee Lamb has stepped his game up or what he's capable of. You haven't seen this year what CeeDee Lamb is capable of because he hasn't had a Robin. He's been Batman with no Robin. You got to have somebody to have your back. Whenever you have a number 1 receiver that the defense can obviously shift all their focus to, you cannot be the guy that you need to be. Now, when you add a true number 2, somebody who is renowned and respected around this league, and he can route up anybody, and he can get off the line of scrimmage, and he's smart and has the wisdom. Now, all of a sudden, you know what? We can't put everybody over there on CeeDee Lamb. We have to respect our young B. Cooks. And then also, it gives those tight ends an opportunity as well. It evens out your offense, and you might even see the running game come in, Nate Dogg.
You know what, man? Did you leave me any time?
I left you a little ball on there.
Kyle, go ahead.
We've got all sorts of time.
We got a lot of time.
Looking at the clock,
I mean, because the way you kissing up the Cook, man. Come on, man. Cook's okay. I mean, Cook's a great player. He's coming off an injury. I hope good things from him. I just had to get at it.
You had to go politically correct, man. You had to go PC.
I thought you were making some great points. Batman's great by himself, by the way.
Absolutely.
Dark Knight. I mean, he had some good
Hey,
ones.
but when you got your dog on your side, you play better.
It's different.
Right? You have more opportunities. And again, when you have equal opportunities on each side. You have a receiver on the left, you have a receiver on the right, you have Turpin that's coming along in the slot, and then you got these tight ends that are starting to come along as well. Now all of a sudden the defense can't hone in on one person, right? Barry Church likes to be back there in the safety. He likes to be able to go ahead and shade over to one side. I can't shade to one side now. Now I got to play a little bit more on the hash, and if I got to play a little bit more on the hash, then guess what? The sideline's open, and if I want to play towards the sideline, then the middle of the field's open. It opens up everything, and then instead of that one safety, now you have two safeties. And when you have two safeties, the big fellas like Big Nate Dogg now can move up to the second level and start moving linebackers off the ball, and you get a little Rico action.
Oh, that changes
everything.
It does. It certainly does. You know who else is happy to have Brandon Cooks back in the fold?
Who that?
It's Stephen Jones, Cowboys COO, who joins Nick Eatman on the sidelines out at AT&T.
Thanks so much, Kyle. And as always, we're joined by Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. And happy Thanksgiving to you. And I'll say this, it seems like for me, Thanksgiving always comes down to family and food and football. Maybe not in that order. You get a chance to do that with your family and in this game every year. What does it mean to be here?
Well, it just, it's obviously a reminder of how thankful we are and how blessed we are and how much hope we have. And, this time of year, that brings all that out in you. And you get your priorities straight. And even when you're struggling a little like we are this year, it puts it all in perspective, and just appreciate our families and our friends and our coworkers, and great time of year.
Short weeks are always tough, and this team knows how to do it. They do it every year. How much is it easier when you get a win like you guys had in Washington to say, all right, we're not done here. We're going to keep this thing going, and now you got the Giants coming in.
Absolutely. I mean, coming off a win is huge, and, of course, we needed that. We'd been on that 5-game losing streak, unfortunately, and to get a big win in Washington against a division rival like Washington, and get to turn around and come back home and try to right the ship here. It's hard to believe we hadn't won a home game yet this year, but obviously anytime you play a division opponent like the Giants, we know they're coming to win the damn game too.
Yeah.
So we're going to have our hands full, but obviously it'd be huge, and we'd love to do this for our fans who've been so supportive of us this year, even though it hadn't gone the way we all would have liked to have seen so far.
They're going to have a change at quarterback, another change there with Locke. Do you feel like that's going to change? That's going to be anything different than what you guys have expected?
I don't think so. I think our guys, them will be ready, and I don't think it changes a lot. I was actually visiting with Coach Zimmer, and he just the guys know what we want to get accomplished out there. Obviously, stopping the run and getting them into third down, preferably third and long, plays into our hands better, and just feel like our guys will be ready to go out and compete and execute.
When you signed Cooper Rush a couple of years ago to be the backup here, you expected game like that, the game manager. Is he playing like you thought all along in the first couple of weeks? Maybe not as much, but now?
Well, he played just like what we thought last week. I mean, he's he knows when to get the ball out. He knows the game. He knows our offense, and just what we expected, and I fully expect him to play well again.
And your offensive line, you had some really good help last week with Bass and Hoffman getting in there. Whoever has to play, it seems like they'll be ready for it. Do you think that that's where the offensive line is right now?
Yeah, they'll step up. I mean, obviously last week was a great challenge for the guys, and Hoffman and Bass did step up. Hopefully we'll get Tyler Smith back, and then after this week, Zach Martin should be coming back as well. So we're getting healthier as a team. We just got to take one game at a time. As I said, go out and execute, protect the ball, and hopefully get a few takeaways.
Last one, and I don't know if you'll have the answer to this, but will the Giants kick to Kevontae Turpin?
We'll see, won't we?
You hope they do.
I hope they do.
You obviously don't want them to kick a lot. You don't want a lot of kickoffs, but if they do.
But I feel good when Terp's got the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
I think all our fans do. He's fun to watch.
Definitely fun to watch. All right, always a pleasure to have you here, Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. And Kyle, we'll throw it back to you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick and Steven. One of the big step-ups last week was Josh Butler. Nick mentioned it earlier. Maybe don't want to see the 12 tackles in terms of a cornerback position. That means you're giving up receptions. However, he did have 3 pass breakups. He was elevated from the practice squad to fill in at the cornerback position, and he finished with a sack as well. Played at a high level last week. He's hoping to take a step forward this week.
Just trusting in myself, having confidence was the biggest thing. And then, just seeing my reads and seeing everything that my coach Al have been able to teach me, and seeing that everything come true, I had a lot of fun out there and flying around, and the guys had a lot of trust and believe in me as well, so that felt good to have that team camaraderie.
Were you a Cowboys fan growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born and raised Dallas. Everything Dallas. Mom used to be bedazzled in everything Dallas Cowboys. Dad used to scream at the TV Dallas Cowboys. They are all the way through.
Do you have an early memory of being a Cowboys fan that really sticks out to you? Or?
All I remember is I used to rock a Emmitt Smith jersey. I don't know where that jersey is at, and it had half the Emmitt off of it and half the other side of the two off of it. But we used to play like throw up tackle. And, we used to always fantasize about which running backs and stuff that we wanted to be. Watching those people as we grew up, and that's how I remember it as a kid, just having fun and playing throw up tackle in the street, the concrete. It was fun though.
Do you have memories of watching the Cowboys on Thanksgiving at all?
No, I was too busy eating.
So Josh Butler excited for the opportunity to possibly play on Thanksgiving, and look at that. We've got one of Thanksgiving's legends. That is Mr. Nate Newton. Back in the day, not only do we have the photo of Nate, we've got some video of Nate Newton back in the day in terms of his Thanksgiving feast. He's got some great feasts to rely on, and we've got a feast coming up here in a minute. Look at this, Nate. You remember these days?
Oh, yeah. We moving people. Earth moves.
Yeah,
man.
Is that L.A.?
Yes, sir. That's L.A., man. Bringing that thunder, bro.
Yeah, little Emmitt Smith action.
Bro, y'all was built different back then.
Massive.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Larry, man. He's a big dude, too.
Yeah.
How about that? Little slow motion Nate Newton from back in the day. Isaiah, what are you doing over there?
Oh, me right here? I figured since my.
What is it?
Since my.
Wow.
So for those that don't know, I know y'all know. Every year, I try to bring my crew here at the Cowboys, DallasCowboys.com, some of my speciality. And my speciality, oh my goodness, just happens to be smoked mac and cheese. Let me go ahead and tilt this for you real quick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at the seasoning on that mug.
Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna bring this in real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and come on over yonder. You want a scoop of this, Big Nate Dog?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna give me a scoop of it,
You
man.
want a little scoop?
You're going to get to share it with us on air this time?
Yeah, you going to, man.
You smell that?
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
Give you a little Scooby scoop right there.
Yeah,
You want the corner right
magically
there?
delicious right now.
See that
I know
corner
you
right
guys
there?
are hungry at home. Everybody's
Thank you,
watching
bro.
at home.
Go ahead, hook your boy up.
He's gonna start this. He's gonna start his own website.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you, big
brother.
dog.
You still working on that big smoking line?
Don't worry about it. Here you go. Here's a napkin. Buddy.
Come over here to my boy KY real
Thank you
quick.
very much, sir.
I would hate for you to be hungry. You know what I'm saying?
No,
On
that's
set.
good. That's
Can't
good.
do it.
Working for the last hour.
When did you start doing this?
I've been doing this, man, for a good. I don't even know. I mean, probably since
Give me an extra scoop.
You want an extra? I gave them the baby scoop. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this probably about 17 years or so now.
Really?
Yeah, I picked up an old little what's the word I'm looking for?
Recipe?
Yeah, there you go. Old recipe from one of my best friends, Tyrone. His grandma gave me the recipe, and
Not Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone. Got to call Tyrone. And, so recipes to her, man. She showed me how to do it, and then I put your own little spin on it. And now I do two turkeys. I do a smoked turkey, a deep fried turkey, and I do 3 mac and cheeses. I bring one here, and I got smoked mac and cheese, baked mac and cheese. Leave that at the house. That'll be for later on. But I always got to make sure I take care of my squad, though.
Man.
Appreciate you.
You're always
Appreciate you.
the man
Yes,
whenever
sir.
it comes to the mac and cheese.
Glad y'all got
Get
yours.
yourself a scoop.
Yeah, this
there,
is mine
too.
right here.
Yeah. Barry, what's your favorite Thanksgiving memory as we enjoy a little food, family, and football?
Of course, playing on Thanksgiving days for 7 years with the Cowboys was awesome. It was amazing, great experience. But I'd have to say, man, growing up and just, going into my grandma's house who lived across the street, everybody would come in as a family member, or family members would come in, and we would just all grub 24/7 from breakfast, lunch, dinner. I mean, you could smell cooking from miles away. I mean, I could smell it now, just being in the studio right now. But it was one of the best experiences. Yeah, that is. It is the mac and cheese. But it was a great experience, man. Just growing up, a household full of family members and just enjoying Thanksgiving, man. That was probably one of the best experiences I've had, man.
What about you, Nate?
Man, I just waking up, man, just knowing Mom and doing what she's doing. She been cooking all night, man. Coming from the old school collard greens, cabbage, and neck bone, ham hocks, and just a whole plethora of things, man. And if we went to that little small town called Lottie, Florida, that thing would be off the chain, man. 50, 60. Look at that, man.
Yeah, look at that.
See that? I done took the legs off of that, right? I'm taking the rest of that to the crib.
I see that.
Yeah, that's my son. That's my oldest boy, Trey, man.
There you go.
That's my oldest boy, Trey, named after his daddy, or after his granddaddy.
Do you still, I mean, I know you're here with us
Dang.
for a lot of these
Man,
Thanksgiving holidays. Oh, look at that. You're sharing with the friends.
Oh, yeah,
sharing
man.
with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
still have Thanksgiving traditions that you keep to this day, too?
No, man, because we're here.
Yeah.
My tradition is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
In this game. That's what I'm built for. That's what I've been doing. I said, this here even a little better this year. Boy, what you
ain't
did
lying
this
about
thing,
that.
man?
They say if you stay the same, that you're going backwards.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You got to elevate every year.
All right, like blast.
You elevated, all right.
What about you, Nate, or Isaiah?
I just like being with the fam. You know, I like being with the fam. Obviously,
Yeah.
you guys are my fam now as well. So every year I look forward to being here. Obviously, serving and doing our duties here in terms of making sure that the fans have the information they need. But, you know, things we do behind the scenes with all the behind the scenes crew and, you know, the laughs and all the outtakes, all that stuff is fun. But I like now at the house, my little ones wake up, and I heard them giggling this morning. I'm like, why are they up already? They watching the New York parade.
Yep.
You know, so,
Yeah.
you know, being able to go on the couch and kick it with them, because I'm usually on the go all the time, usually gone by the time they wake up. So being able to just wake up and be there with them and let them help me cook, it's good times.
That's always fun.
How about you, big dog?
Yeah, no, I know. I get to ask
Your
you.
Thanksgiving's a little different now.
A little bit different. Got the triplets at home today. Had to feed them before we got, so they got a little Thanksgiving.
Here we
had
go.
some pumpkin
There we go.
food this morning. That was always a lot of fun. But going back to the childhood, playing football out in the yard, and it was funny. My parents, they always kind of knew I was destined for sports media because I would write up a Thanksgiving Day bowl preview.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, for real. Like as a kid, I had a full page of a Word document. I think my parents and my aunt and uncle may still have it, where it was a newspaper article of the preview of the game, of me and my cousins. Hey, my Uncle Greg and my dad Fred, hey, they're both playing quarterback this year. You don't know what's going on. That all sorts of things. So that was always one of my favorite things, was getting to hang out with the family, get to eat the food, and then go out and work it all off by playing some football and writing some articles out there.
There it is.
Yeah,
That's
back in the day,
pretty
I was
cool,
like
man.
6,
Cool.
7 years
So
old.
you was the quarterback?
My dad was the quarterback.
Oh,
He was
okay,
all-time
Dad.
QB. We had to let the dads be the all-time QB.
So what position
And then-
you played?
Oh, I was wide out, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me the rock.
There we go.
Make it happen. Put me on a jet sweep a couple different times.
Well,
I'll play
CD
corner,
Lamb
too.
in it.
Okay. Oh, the Cowboys, of course, like you said, Nate, it is a Thanksgiving tradition unlike any other. The Cowboys, with their opportunity to win their 34th game on this holiday, and they're trying to improve to 3-0 against the Giants on Thanksgiving as well. Now, the weekend after that, you would think it would be a tough one because you're playing on Thursday, you get a little bit of time. No, not so much. They've been very good on the week after that, and of course, it's an extra long week.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've got a Monday night matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals next week. So we've got one tradition in terms of Thanksgiving into a new Thanksgiving tradition, and that is me beating you guys. Baby.
That's how we doing it.
So every week, bold prediction. You only have the bank account that you can bet with here. So if you have 0 points or negative points, they can only bet 1 point. If you are negative, you go back up once you get your point. So Isaiah is in the negatives currently. I'm back up with the 1 point. So that's how it works. Barry got one right last week. He takes a step forward. But look at Nate Newton leading the way.
Yes. Yes.
What type of?
I think we're being weak on the.
That's exactly what we've been doing.
100%.
That's exactly what we've been doing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
They're cleaning up on us over here.
I'm trying to run the ball, dog.
No,
y'all
He
throwing the
said
bombs in the
25
mailman.
runs last week.
Nate,
that was his bold
listen
prediction.
here, this is
We're
Nate.
taking it easy on Nate.
Nate's bold predictions is if we win the coin toss, we going on defense first.
Man, give me some more
That's
back,
pretty
man.
bold.
Give me some more back,
That's
man.
pretty bold. All right, Barry, you start us off. What you got?
For me,
Call your shot.
I'm going once again on the defensive side of the football. No surprise there. But my bold prediction is that DeRon Bland is going to walk away with an interception. All right, he almost got there last week off of a tip pass. He was close. He was close. Second game back, he was getting his feet wet a little bit against the Commanders. He's ready to go now. He's ready to go. I'm talking about all snaps. He's ready to go. He's ready to lock something down out there. And I don't care who's throwing the football to him, Drew Lock or whoever the case may be. He's going to get an interception this week, and I'm going to get back on this board. What am I at? One
You're
right
at one.
now?
You're at
Man, I was at lead at one point.
Yeah,
Man,
you
this
were.
is crazy.
Me too, though. It happens quickly.
That's crazy work.
It happens quickly. What do you think, Nate?
Hey, they like to rush. They like to give up on the rush.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, rushing playing defense, on
allowing the run game.
Yes, and so the Cowboys have not had a 100-yard rushing game in how long? It's been a long time.
Since say it?
Yeah, so I'm saying this right here. 115. They're gonna rush for 115.
Ooh, that's a bold.
That's bold.
That's
what I'm
bold.
talking about.
He waits till he got up by 3 or 4 before he started being bold.
Did he say 1 point?
Oh, I thought he said 4 points.
I'm trying to make sure.
That would have been
all in.
All in, baby.
But don't tempt me.
Don't you push me.
Hey, man, you're going to give some more.
I got you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make, you know what I'm saying? Listen up. The Cowboys defense is starting to figure things out. Okay, help was on the way. Help is on the way. Okay, you got Big Micah Parsons back. You got DeMarvion Overshown back there. Both of those guys hunting together. I don't care who's that quarterback for the Giants. They don't stand a chance. Dallas Cowboys get at least 3 sacks today. Since I'm in the negatives, I only can do 1.
You can only do 1. Okay. My first couple of weeks, first one back in the positives, finally got back up top.
Yes, sir.
I'm waiting.
There
There you go.
That's
back
on me.
up,
That's
back up
on
in
me.
the positives this week. I'm going to keep it positive. I'm going to think Cooper Rush is going to have an encore performance today.
Right.
He posted his best quarterback rating last week. He's going to go back over a century mark this week. He's going to be right back in the fold. He's going to go 2 weeks in a row with plus 100 in the quarterback rating, which has been rare throughout his career. He's going to do it again this week, back-to-back week. Keys to the game. How do the Cowboys come out on top here on Thanksgiving?
Once again, I said this last week. I'm going to say it again this week. They've got to win a turnover battle. I mean, it's consistent throughout the National Football League. You win the turnover battle, you win the game. So defense, go out there and take it away. Offense, make sure you take care of it.
These Giants, if they give up more than 130 yards rushing, they lose the game. Bottom line. You don't even worry about time possession. You just try to rush the ball. So that 115, if we do 125, the Cowboys win this game. Yes, easily. Yes, because it takes away from their pass rush. They ain't had a sack. They had 1 sack in 2 games.
Yeah.
And they got 32 sacks. Yeah. But the other 2 teams, the Bucks and the other team before them, have stopped them, man.
They figured it out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. Yes.
I agree with you. Big Nate Dawg, I think the running game gets going, but I think the Dallas Cowboys need to score 3 touchdowns. I think for a number of reasons, they need to get some mojo going on that side of the ball. Obviously, they're starting to figure things out. Hopefully, Brandon Cooks can give them a little bit of boost that they need, but they need 3 touchdowns.
No doubt about it. And there's a lot of different keys that are going to go into this. If the Cowboys are really going to string some things together and piece it together down the stretch in 2024, they're going to need to have some of these things go their way. That does it for us here on this Thanksgiving edition of Cowboys Pregame Live. Love you guys.
Yes,
always
indeed.
family. Cowboys love. Are you safeguarding?
Man, can
that?
we get some more cheese?
We are done. We'll leave you with some of the family photos from our phenomenal crew here at DallasCowboys.com. We love you guys at home. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. Enjoy some football. Cowboys, Giants. We say goodbye here on Cowboys Pregame Live.